Today is the 16th of December, 2021. Next week is the Christmas episode, so you better get all ho ho ho. Tone,
Not
are
me.
you ready? You ready for that?
Yes, I am.
Good. Right, you are listening to Let's Drone Out. Tonight we are joined by Stephen.
Hello, everyone.
I'm Bright Till I Fly. We are joined by Tony.
Bonjour.
My darling wife. And we are joined by, I should have asked you before, Alex, your how to pronounce your surname, but it's Alexander Fedor Commander.
No, that is not my surname. It's not
No,
in my passport.
No.
The last name officially is Fedorov, but
Fedorov.
This is Russian. Like Fedorov is okay too, but that mostly go by just a nickname.
Yeah, no worries, man. So you've been working on the KISS Flightware firmware controller, and you run a Patreon, and I believe that you work on the code, and everyone who is a member of your Patreon then has access to special firmware that allows for things like return to home or failsafe and all that good stuff, as such. And you've been, I think I'm aware that you've been maintaining the code as well. So you've been adding set features and like new stuff up to a point. So is that right?
Yeah, it's very true. Except chronologically, it's a little bit more complicated than that.
Yeah.
I do.
I was going to ask, actually, for KISS newbies, could we start with the chronological part and like where it came from, how you got involved?
Yeah, that would be a long story, but I think it would make more sense to do that because Patreon, it's like something came a couple of years ago, and it was created by request of the users. Actually, I never wanted Patreon, so users actually forced me to do that. And just tell me, where do you want me to start? So I think I'm in the drone world since 2013. It's quite a long time, actually.
So I'm wondering, does that put you in with like multi-wii or?
No, base flight was my first one on NASA 32.
Oh man, so you're
Same as me.
No, I'm lying. It was Open Pilot for a week, and then it was NASA 32.
Yeah.
Open Pilot didn't work well for me, and I have steel bumps on my ceiling from it. So.
No worries. Yeah. So Andrew / Frank, who's unfortunately very unwell, but we hope for a speedy recovery, and hope you get better, buddy. As far as I know, he's doing okay, but 17% of the poll says, "What is KISS?" I believe KISS is a fork from the multi-Wii firmware. Is it not?
No, not really. KISS. KISS was created by Flyduino, and Felix was responsible to actual creation of it. He was working there at the time. Flyduino was making nice KISS ESCs, and we know all these little firecrackers and cleaning them with the IPA and with a toothbrush. It was a nice process, and a nice evening was made out of it. And at some point in time, let me check when, I think in 2015, end of year, Felix also made a flight controller that was F3 based. At that time, it was a hot item. And with very limited firmware, that Beeper was doing just beep. And that was a time when the KISS was born. I got my KISS in the beginning of 2016. So pretty much very soon after it was released, and well, it's Beta Flight just ended for me. So that's when KISS started.
So you no, carry on, Tone.
I was just going to say that's probably when you started using KISS, wasn't it, Jack?
That was when I started using KISS, yes, and it was a really nice time and really nice flight. With I was not literally, but just blown away with how it flies compared to what I had before with Beta Flight. And I started a few weeks later.
Jack used to fly KISS and bang on about how good it was for ages, didn't you, Jack?
Yeah. To the point where Tony refused to try it. But I like, if you're using open toilet, I'm guessing you had a CC3D.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So, and you say beta flight, but it must have been base flight. You must have had clean flight.
Yes. First on NASA, I said it was. Did I said Beta Flight? It was base flight. It was a base flight for a week, and then clean flight was released. I think clean flight was after base flight, right?
Yeah,
it
was.
I flashed it very carefully and was like, "Ooh, that's nice." Then it was for a year or so. Then Boris started to commit more than all clean flight team together, I think, and changes were so fast, and he decided to fork it just to do a Beta Flight, and that sticked.
Yeah, it was on the RC groups, and there were so many pull requests, and things weren't getting done fast enough. And I think the for him was the notch filters.
It came later. It came later.
Was it?
It started. I think what the biggest one was when the Nicholas Sherlock, that's the guy who made Black Box, made a very nice program that logs actually CPU utilization per function. And they realized that is like 80% of time goes to just deal with what I2C bus to wait and do nothing. And that was improvements, loop time got very shorter, and then it was changes in the PID controller. There was like 4 PID controllers, and one was from multi-V, all integer arithmetics and stuff. And what Boris started to do, he started to dig into Lux float controller that was fully based with float arithmetics. And that was actually when the fun was for me started. I talked a lot to Boris at the time, and he was using me as a tester. He was also sending me code, and I was running to my flying spot. It was like 5 minutes walk from here, and fly it, and it was fun time. Yeah.
I remember back in 2015, 2016, me and Tony and Frank were interviewing Boris, so it's kind of nice to have a like mutual friend of, and unfortunately Boris has just completely disappeared off the face of the earth, which is a real shame. I do miss him and his videos.
Nice guy. Never met him actually. We live in the same country. He was working like 5 kilometers from the place where I'm living. He was flying on my spots, but we never met. That I think it's just normal.
So Alexander, how did you get involved in building your own boards then?
You're just jumping like 5 years later.
That is a big jump.
Yeah, that's a big jump. So you want to know a bit more how it was moved from Beta Flight to KISS, or straight away to 2021?
No, let's not do the jump.
Well, that was fun with Beta Flight, and I even have some commits in Beta Flight actually, so it still runs. And something for Black Box I did with Nicholas Sherlock was helping him at the time. Actually, he gave me permission to implement black box logger on KISS, so I asked him, can I do that? And he said, yeah, no problem with that. Well, when I started flying KISS, well, it was flying great, but there was not much what it can do compared to existing Betaflight at that time. So, even Beeper didn't work, and there was like 3 aux functions which do nothing besides arm and level. So I started just to poke around and try to make my own logging kind of thing outside of the system, just logging telemetry between OSD and flight controller. And well, I showed it to people, and somebody saw from Flyduino that's what I'm doing. And then I thought, well, they have nice GUI, let's do it Android version for the phone. I had Android tablet at the time, so I did it. I showed them, and they kind of liked it. So they said, well, maybe you want to join the team. Then I said, well, why not? I'm doing it anyways, so maybe people will, benefit from it. So I was pretty much took care of all the GUI stuff. I added, all the pages you see till now is before it was just one page, and well, made some extension and make it a little bit more advanced. And I think in 2016, in the summer, there was a big problem with oscillations, and Felix couldn't work for like a few months, just family stuff. And people start suffering and leaving. And well, I start to, coding more, and pretty much took care of KISS for Felix and Flyduino for a time. So start to code more, get familiar with code base. Well, quite a lot of things was done there. That's well, and it was going for quite a while. I think a couple of years. Then I realized I spent more time supporting KISS than I would allow myself. I practically stopped flying to just do coding. Then I just left KISS for a year, more than a year, I think 1.5 years. I just said enough is enough. But well, there are nice people in the world. Somebody said, well, there are a DJI thing, so would you like to implement it? And we will send you all the gear. So what you need? Well, I'm curious guy, so it's something new. Great. So I started to do DJI stuff, and yeah, KISS Pilot said, well, why don't you make Patreon? Flyduino was okay with that, so everybody was okay. So I was like, well, if you want it, okay. I don't mind to have a few bucks on the side for toys. And I started to code for Patreons who support me, and well, did nice things like GPS support, RTH, DJI support, Ghost support. Well, you name it.
I appreciated that one. Thank you.
Yeah, failsafe was rewritten. Well, quite a lot of things. It was kind of pre-Ultra time, and I was committing it also to the master branch of KISS. So FedTech and KISS anybody can benefit from it actually. Well, and then then KISS Ultra happened. That's a different story.
No worries.
KISS
Did you just
Ultra?
get tired of waiting for OSD to be implemented to a KISS flight controller?
No, not really. The thing is, and you can talk to Alexander Wolf. We had a lot of discussion about OSD. He's OSD fanatic. I was completely against OSD. I want something else from OSD. And I thought, well, Pilot doesn't need OSD. Then I thought, well, what it will look like if I want to make one for myself. Here we go.
Okay. Yeah, because I believe is it a vector OSD now instead of the individual characters?
It's a fully graphical OSD with semi-transparency. It's 60 frames per second, so it's not like the others, because
Yeah.
usually you have like extra CPU that communicates with serial port to the flight controller, gets the data over a certain protocol, MSP or KISS protocol, or yeah, you name it. And then it just shows it like 10 times per second if you like it, 1 time per second. So, but the thing is, it's kind of very limiting. You have OSD with firmware, you need to update it. It needs to be in sync with flight controller firmware. If you change something, you need to update both, and it's not really fast, and it's limiting because, well, you can't transfer anything. You can't transfer everything over the serial. So I thought, well, why not to have just OSD on the same CPU? So, and because you have it like computer, you have computer screen. So you put pixel there and it's there immediately. So you have 60 frames per second. You have a full graphic. It's like 512 pixels wide, 270 height. So, and it just looks great.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, then you have something you can show on the screen, but you need to have OSD itself. And initially, we thought to use Alexander Wolf's code on the Ultra OSD, but it ended up not really compatible with the way I program it. So it's a bit too heavy for my needs because it's one CPU. It needs to fly. It needs to render 60 frames per second. Well, if you look at that, it's not a picnic. It's quite interesting thing to do, but you don't want to be there. It's really time critical. So I thought, well, okay, we could use something else, or we can just write it from scratch. So I thought, well, I have code for keychain configurator. It can edit parameters on the little OLED screen. Yeah, why not to use it for OSD as a base? And pretty much I ported it from keychain to Ultra. That's how OSD was born, actually.
No way.
Yeah.
I know. It was weird. Like I got to chat with Dominic Clifton when Wright was in the UK. We sat down and having a chat with him, and like it turned out that some of the OSD code came from him trying to use like a better way of using addressable LEDs, and then some of that also went into like the D-Shot code as well, which was quite weird. So for his clean flight.
Well, I'm doing it a bit differently. What he's talking, it's well, on the CPU you have two things that is used pretty much for all. You have timers, you have direct memory access. Basically, timer, it's ticking and it tells the what to output on the certain pin using direct memory access. That's how this shot works. You have 16 bits. You have timing. It says 10 10 10 done. So that's your D-Shot command. Same things you have for OSD. You have one line of pixels. You need to sync on the beginning of the line, and then you need to just clock out what you want to show over the screen. But you need to be very precise. Any jitter, you will see this tiny shifts. It's really annoying. Well, and
that sort of like flicker.
It's kind of flickerish, but it looks like your characters on OSD, they're not sharp. So, well,
overscan.
Yeah. So I'm doing something very weird on H7. It's a little bit undocumented, and took me kind of like a month to find the way how to clock out signals the way I want it without loading CPU a lot. So it's very important, actually.
No worries. So one of the reasons why I kind of like begged you to come on was I was watching like I approached you like message like, hey, do we do a podcast? And we forgot about it. And then I was watching Joshua Bardwell stream, and like I sat there and I was watching it, and then like KISS comes up and they're just like, they don't know what to do with it, kill it with fire. They're just like, they think it's witchcraft or something. And there's some real like misinformation out there. They were like, oh yeah, it's like it's stolen code or whatever, or you haven't got permission. And I kind of like spat my drink out, and I was like, no. Luckily, Blunty corrected it. Don't worry. But he was just, you have permission from Flyduino, Kiss, and Felix, and obviously because you worked with them. So
I don't need to have permission from Felix. That's one thing. So he's working at
okay.
FedTech. So I have a license agreement with Paul.
Yeah.
For Paul of Flyduino. So it's all official. It's there's nothing is stolen. There's
No.
well, imagine in like 4 or 5 years, the amount of code I wrote for Kiss is now is like 85% is my code I wrote. It's still, well, it was property of Flyduino, of course, but we have agreement that the code I wrote for Ultra, I'm not going to open to anyone. So that's my thing, and we have agreement with that. So basically, everything what I do is agreed upon upfront with Flyduino. Even the shape of the flight controller, we wanted to have the same shape that Kiss V2 has, almost the same shape, but we got a permission to use it. So Blanty was right.
Yeah, no worries. Like it was, there's some people, are like not really following it closely, and you understand, like there's misinformation out there, and it's not really sort of that open and out there. So
Correct.
I can kind of understand, but all I can say is Kiss. It's not flight, race flight, So.
Well, not really.
No, but is it true? I've heard like the rumors that like with the Kiss Ultra, you're gonna take it in your sort of like own direction. Is that true? You're gonna, or is it still gonna follow Kiss?
It is going its own direction for since June last year. So that's another thing. But whole idea of the project, well, I was not really happy with where the Kiss is going, led by FedTech. So I thought, well, let's do it the way we like it. And whole idea is to keep it Kiss. Keep the same feel, don't change a lot, improve it. But when people fly Kiss, they say, well, it is Kiss. That's I don't know what Felix did it, but there's no magic. It's a code, but it's quite a nice code to fly. It feels good, and people looking for that feel. That's not gonna change. It can be improved, but it's basically, well, I'm working on some things now, and I see it is not working the way I wanted, and the flight behavior is changing. So I just dropped it and threw it away. Not good. Don't have problem to start all over again. But I think Ultra, it is Kiss on steroids. It's Kiss next level. Well, Ultra, it is beyond Kiss. So that's the meaning of Ultra.
Interesting.
Yeah. Is anyone still developing Kiss, like, or because it feels really sort of stagnated, with the updates? There hasn't really been, like a ESC update for ages. With like on the, it's kind of everything's kind of gone stable. Is there any more development for just regular Kiss, or?
Well, first of all, I do on the flight controller, so I don't really care about ACs too much.
Yeah,
they're really not my thing. So I can't tell what's the plans or what's going on in AC land for Flyduino. Flight controller wise, well, officially FedTech has a maintenance contract with Flyduino, and I think they do maintenance for the old Kiss code base. Well, I have some reservations about it, but it is what it is. On other side, I do support for my Patreon users, and that's pretty much most advanced KISS firmware at the moment. Well, I'm missing some things, but they're not really relevant, like Ghost support. I think I did Ghost support. Yeah, I think I did Ghost support.
Yeah.
Crossfire 3, I think, is missing there. But for people who is using KISS for long flight, long range flight, and using GPS and RTH, that's pretty much firmware to go. Because I think since I released RTH, 9 quads were saved, just
Okay.
from
Nice.
falling to sea, and it's just one extra makes you want to go further. It's just what you've been working for, and RTH was really fun to do. I never flew it actually myself, so it was flown only by my testers and testers logging, and well, we flew I think more than 300 LIPOs while doing it, a lot.
Wow.
So people like it, but I decided not to share the code when I start Ultra. And the last piece, what I did for RTH, it's RTH on failsafe. It's not included in the official firmware. Everything before that, it's all included. So you have GGI, you have, well, you name it. Ultra has everything I ever did.
Does return to home? Does it come home and land, or does it come
No.
home and loiter? Just loiter, or just?
It's just loiter. So we decided not with the testers not to go down, because for example, if you have GPS and you was not careful taking off, and you're returning, there could be up to 30 meters difference actually with a home altitude.
Yeah.
And if you have 40 meters, well, return to home, and then it goes down, it could be it could be very, very bad.
Yeah.
So we decided to just the whole idea is it returns, it loiters, you take over control. If you can't, it will just drop dead, but you will have time to run away until it starts beeping, and well, it will start beeping, and then it will just fall. I think falling with just disarmed motors, it's less damage than to just go down and spinning that blades. No,
Yeah. At
safety
least
first.
you save your GoPro. You got your battery back. Most of the quad that you could repair if it did fall from the sky anyway. So, and you've saved 9 quads so far. That's good news.
Yeah, that's good, man.
Brilliant
Thank
news.
you.
I think RTH record, if I remember, 7 or 6 kilometers, and nine quad. Yeah, that's it's
That's
it flies actually quite well. I think when I released it, Betaflight boys changed their code a little bit to fly better, because it was like wow, wow, wow all the time. And I see after that they fly smoother. Very simple, actually. It's very simply done.
I wonder. I'd like to see what speed it comes back at. Or can you set that?
No, actually, no. It just comes back when it comes back. I wanted to make a speed control, and it actually worked worse than without it. So basically what it does, it just tilts and just goes home.
I wonder if you could like average it for consumption, so it monitors the voltage and amp draw, and like sort of ekes it back if you're low on battery.
It will land. I guarantee it will land. Gravity will do the trick.
I know. We got a classic question. How did you start in the hobby? Like, how did you hear about drones? What did you buy? Like, what drew you into this?
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't buy anything. But when I was a kid, I was doing some plane models. And the ones that go with wires. I don't know how it's called in English.
Control line.
Yeah, on control lines and this kind of things. And I really wanted to fly helis. It was my dream. I loved how they look, and with the nitro engines, they do so much noise. But in Russia at that time, it was not really possible. Well, years passed, and I think in 2013 or 12, end of the year, it's my birthday, and my wife got me a Parrot air drone.
Okay.
That was my
not Squawk Parrot.
Not a McCall.
Was it the polystyrene ones?
the one with with big ears and
Yeah.
That's from for me.
Yeah.
And I
Things.
destroyed it in the first day, of course. But a week later, it become one that can fly further with real radio, with Arduino on it, and with a hack that actually
Nice.
replaced the phone. Oh, that was fun! You can fly like 30 meters instead of 10. And it didn't actually live very long on me. I sold it, and I got myself what was it? I think Flame Wheel from DJI.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was that one. Then it was Tarot 700, and after that it was Blackout Time. And
No
this is
way.
Yeah,
Oh, you actually got yourself a blackout, did you?
Yeah, I bought 2 blackouts. One first batches.
Blackout the dunk, man. So I'm guessing you had like Navigator motors and T-motor Navigator.
I still have it. It's on my shelf. I still have that Mobus.
Oh,
and I do have a Sony camera and
Sony CCD.
Yeah, exactly. 12 volts. Oh my god. With a little bobbins.
Yeah. I know. So it's really nice to like talk to someone who's been in the hobby for quite a while, because like
you saw that video, huh?
Yeah,
in the forest, the Star Wars video. That's how it started for me.
Meet the French guys in it racing and that. Like, because as much as I mock Tony for being a dinosaur, like I am really starting to feel it. It's like in the hobby, you got all these like new blood come in, and they don't know what PWM stands for. They don't have to. Just D shot. Arguing about what was better, D shot or multi shot, and I'm glad that one was put to bed. I done some beta testing on the old D-Shot ESCs, and I had the dead duck, when D-Shot come out. And the worst part was I done some long range at Hidden Valley. Tony will know. There's this derelict farmhouse on the other side of the valley. I flew out there, flew back, no problem. Went to Stammer Park, which is like a little flat, nothing really there, park, and then I'm orbiting myself with Dan Upton. Tony will know, one of our old friends in the hobby, and then my quad ESCs just dead dark, fall out the sky, pick it up, and then it's like me, and then they're beaconing and stuff. So yeah, I was just like, phew.
Well, that's what testing's about, Jack.
I know. I was like, yeah, this works great. And then next day it was like just dead duck. So Simon K for the win. Yes. Yes, Martin. Yes.
Flashing is freaking disaster.
With the Atmel header. Do you remember that?
Yeah, the white thing you put on the chip.
Yeah. I've got one of those. Yeah.
I was flashing C-Labs ACs from DJI. That's even worse.
What? Oh my god!
It's like from each CC, I had like 3 wires coming out for just programming them.
Yeah. So you said you put an Arduino on the on the Parrot.
Yeah.
So that must have been multi-wii code. Surely.
It's not my code. I thought one guy was... No, it was not multi. The thing is, Parrot was running Linux, and there was debug connectors on the belly of the quad where you can just connect terminal. And basically, there was Arduino was taking PPM input from receiver, normal receiver. I had the Spectrum, and just converting it to pretty much shell commands. They go left, go right. And so you don't need a phone to control it, and you can do it with Team Failsafe radio. It worked quite well, not that far, but quite well. Better than phone for sure.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Can we see your T-shirt, please?
Kiss Me shirt. Yeah.
It's
I'm gonna
a,
have to
a
get
dear
with
friend
one
of
of them.
mine made it. It's an official, and friend of mine made like 25 of them in the world, and I got 2 of them for me and for
That
Mrs.
is
I love
cool.
it.
I like it. I like it.
Crux FPV said elephant in the room stock. Yeah, you've got more stock in.
Of what?
I guess Kiss Ultra.
Yeah, of course I have.
Yeah. So they're available from is it the DU, the German one, and yes,
I do
and
have it.
and I think Impulse RC as well.
Yeah.
So
I did first test batch. It's about minis because I'm making small batches, like 500, 600-700 pieces a time. It's quite expensive. And I got first batch of minis literally yesterday. 100 pieces just to see it's working. So because we had to change some electronics, it was hard to get chips. And I have a problem because factory forgot to put cables in it, and I want to have flight controllers with set of cables you can connect to anything you want, and to this one as well. And I had a dilemma to wait a week till they sent me the cables, or to get stuff to people to start flying this weekend. And I have Discord now. I talked to the guys, and they said, well, we don't mind have some without cables. So I just took 20, put it on my store. I run my store now, so since last weekend, and it's shipped this morning. So I hope tomorrow they will get it, and we'll start flying this weekend. That would be great. Next week I'm getting cables. I will repack it, and I will send half of it to in factory, half of it to Impulse RC, so it will be spreaded a little bit on the world. I'm too lazy. I have no time to just do shipping to overseas. I do only Europe. It's one-man show, so you need to prioritize stuff. So that's the story. Yeah, I have stock. You will have it. I don't even give minis to my team pilots from this batch, so everything goes to people. I have one. I soldered it. This is the first one I soldered, and it's still my only mini.
yeah, Caroline mentioned the DRAC at the back. There you go, mini DRAC in the background. You've even got your pick and place machine. So for people unfamiliar, like the soldering nerd talk, that's the little machine that sucks components out of those reels and then places it on top of the PCB.
Yeah.
And then you were saying you built a reflow oven out of a pizza oven. So he's like delicious Pizza Hut. This episode sponsored by Pizza Hut. It's not really.
No. Pizza is not allowed in this oven.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, you're flowing your own boards, which is incredible. And you were talking about the minis that have the smaller, you're now going to BGA. And we were talking put resin around to like glue the chip in place. So that's quite interesting.
That's you had your concern about durability of the BGA chips. The thing is, I spoke to quite some engineers, and about you have BGA, you have board, you crash, and sometimes BGA chips are going bad. The thing is, it's valid. Yeah, if you have big as BGA chip, so it will have cracks in the solder, and it will stop working. Like you probably saw it in the runtime splits. A lot of them are dying because of the chips, but they're chips like this, so they're huge. And usually what they do on factory, they put resin, black resin around the chips to glue it in, actually. So maybe you saw it on the phones. All the chips are glued. It's no problem to do that, and I was offered to actually do it, but guy said it's 8 by 8 millimeters chip. It's 8 by 8 millimeters. They do this thing with resin about 12 by 12 millimeters. It's pretty much 50% more. And from all the ultras that were sold, it's a 3-digit number. There was no one H7 chip just desoldered or had a crack in the solder. None.
Give one to Tony. I'm sure he can have a bloody good old go.
we dropped it 60 meters on concrete, and
it's still all right.
Well, yeah, it's fine. Hard mounted or or soft mounted, the rubbery,
or hard, or on very hard rubbers. That's the impulsor sees sense with the frames. They just easy to mount for me this way. Liviu was doing Bando stuff, and he crashed a lot. What Damien did, that was incredible. He tortured it like there's no tomorrow. But the guy is crashing. If he crash. Good. So he said this is last indefinite time longer than race flight. I said, can't complain. Very good.
Yeah. That's it. Caroline asked, does Ultra interface to the DJI HD?
Yeah. You can. It does interface. You have quite a lot of sensor. I think 12 sensors implemented, and you can move things around if you please. You can use presets where you can move it around. It's a bit trickier because I have one OSD editor for analog and DJI. You need to use analog OSD editor to edit DJI location. So, but it's okay.
No worries. Right, let's have a look. I've got some thing. Also, big up. You're a fan of individual ESCs.
Well, I have some.
Yeah. So you released the PDB, which was a good shout.
This one.
Yes.
It's called Project Iron Man.
I understand.
I see why. Very good.
What was I going to do? The pick and place machine for development and your prototyping. Are you still doing that, or are you now out of the prototype stage, and you're just focusing on code, or is there going to be more revisions to the boards?
It depends on the availability of components. At the moment, we have revision 5 of Ultra and revision 2 of Minis. We have quite a big stock of components that we need. I think I'm talking thousands.
Yeah.
So at the moment there will be no new revisions. But if I will need one, so I can just make a board, put it on machine, it assembles it in like 5 minutes. So pretty cool. And then just
right.
it's like electronic engineering porn. You look at this machine and says it would took me like 6-8 hours to do it with a freaking pincet.
Yeah. Have you got optical to tell which direction? Sure. Oh man.
Yeah, that's it has 2 cameras. It sees the top vision, bottom vision, and all the goodies. 0402 components. Oh, they're very small, and I'm old. Can't really see them, to be honest.
What was I going to say? What direction do you plan to go in the future? Like, what is your next big goal? Because if you've introduced the return to home, you've introduced the Vector OSD. What's your next goal now? Is it it's like fly better or
flight performance? Yeah.
Yeah,
there are some things that are KISS legacy, so they not really bothering me a lot, but they could be done better. So that's what I'm planning to do coming time, actually, to improve and fix that little problems that can be better.
Okay.
Well, I definitely felt a difference between KISS V1 and V2. I'd like to have a crack of the Ultra, I think, especially with the return to home stuff.
There was actually not that much difference, but there are two differences between V1 and V2, except the processor. There's a I2C and SPI bus for gyro. Of course, SPI is faster, and because the CPU is just faster, 4 times or whatever, to 217 versus 87. Don't remember really. I have adaptive filter that is pretty much 12 times faster than, well, not faster, 12 times better than on F3. And on H7, you have quite a bit of CPU power available to do nice stuff. So it's 480 megahertz with quite big caches, and it's amazing machine. It's really amazing. It's so pleasant to work with it. It has so many interesting how you call it, well, parts or devices inside, and there's better DMA. I don't care about the speed of the bus, so to be honest, so nobody should. But raw CPU power, it's crazy. I'm loading 17% with 60 frames per second OSD and full-blown flight controller on one CPU. So there's it's crazy.
Yeah, I was going to say, did they must have tweaked something with, like, between KISS V1 and V2? There was definitely a change for the yaw. I don't know, like,
same code.
Exactly the same.
Yeah, exactly the same code. I don't remember anything related to yaw. Basically, you have low-level codes that is for F3, F7, H7, G4, whatever, and you have your flight code. And usually, flight code is the same for all of them, except, well, adaptive filter, for example. It's just two different filters can't work. And I don't know. It filters better. That can make a difference. CPU load make a lot of difference in flight. It does. It stupidly does. The faster you do, the more actual value of gyro you have, and the more faster motor response you got. We tried H7 with just exactly the same firmware as F7. It's like freaking day and night. You feel this connection. So it's everyone says like F7 you have brain, hand, squad. With H7 you have brain, squad. It's just faster. I don't know how to explain it. Well, I know how to explain it. It will be a very long explanation.
MQZ FPV says the only downside to flying KISS for me is the anti-gravity is not there.
I'm working on it right now.
You're working on it?
Yeah, I'm working on it because there are some pieces I already did actually in the B20 and B22 firmwares. It's a bit better, but I'm not happy about it. So it will be implemented. So I think it's one of the top of on my list. So it annoys me. And the thing is, what happens now, because Betaflight 4.3 fixed it finally, and now everyone's like comparing everything to Betaflight. It's like, we did it. Did you?
Yeah.
It's great.
It is kind of mad. Like, and also, am I right in saying that the KISS Ultra interfaces with the BRLE and BRLE pass-through?
Yeah.
Is that right? Like,
yeah.
Thank you.
It took 2 weeks to actually write this code and sniff the protocol. Unfortunately, there's not much documentation available from Bill Haley team, but they helped.
Yeah.
I spoke with Scout. I spoke with other guy. What's his name? I don't remember. It was a year ago. And actually, it works with all BL Haleys. You have passed through. You even have the message on OSD that is BL Haley pass through active when you do that. It's just a little things, but it works.
No worries. Any questions, guys? Put it in the chat. Last 10 minutes is always over to you.
There's a couple in there, I think.
Hang on.
Just
no worries. EBR FPV says, is it okay to use the KISS Ultra FC with a BOL ESC? Yeah, we've done that. Right, you're discussing it now. Will you increase production?
I do.
That's
Slowly,
good.
I do.
Yeah, let's ask, please send some to there's a company, Hobby RC, in the UK. Like, that would be amazing.
It's like you have 2 dealers that will have 50% of budget and 3 dealers that will have 30% of budget.
Yeah.
Well, it will be sold again in what In Factory was selling it like 4 ultras a minute last time. It's it goes quite fast.
Yeah, I think someone in the chat said that who was using it, Vanover, was starting to use KISS Ultra, so
He did.
it probably start getting even more popular now because someone like that flies it. Everyone's going to want to try it, aren't they?
I don't really offer Ultra to any pilots. They usually come and ask, so I'm deliberately not pushing it. So
No.
Damien asked, and he made me to improve some things for him. Yeah, Vanover asked. I think even Bardwell asked a few days back.
No way, really.
Yeah. I sent him a couple, so
Nice.
I hope he will enjoy it really for like Merry Christmas.
No worries. Chris Davis says, not a question, but just an opportunity to say thank you, Alex, for the Ultra. It's truly incredible, and has been brilliant to use on some big TV jobs here in the UK.
Nice.
Wow.
Chris, you're from the UK. Hello, my friend.
Chris.
Enjoy, brother.
It's good to see you in chat. Thank you. Okay. Mike X says, also, you can now have current sensor with BR Heli 32.
Don't you start. That's the problem. BR Heli has no good support of G-Shot telemetry. They just send not really good values back. And Bardwell.
Shady's a legend in the chat. He's one of the old school. And we've seen Zero in the chat as well, Richard Warwick. Some really good
some
guys.
New faces in there as well. And some old ones. Taz FPV hasn't been in the chat for a while.
Thank you. Yeah, totally. Let's have a look. I'm just trying to scan the chat. Hang on. Did KISS fork from Microcopter? Is that right? Microcopter?
Microcopter. I have no freaking idea. I didn't start KISS. Felix did with
and now he's working on FetTech.
Yeah.
So
good luck.
Oh, Zero's just popped $10 in there. I don't think you can light anything.
I've got nothing on. I will do it when you go back. Thank you, Zero. Bless you.
Thank you, Zero.
You're a legend. I will set light to 6 things when I get back home.
Is that next week?
Week after. Have you got? Do you want to plug your? Do you want to plug some of your Patreon and everything in your shop? And I could paste in the Discord as well. The Discord.
I don't have links with me, so I need to look around.
No.
But all the links basically are available in the GUI, just kissultra.com, and you have web GUI, so you don't need to install it. And on the bottom line, you have Patreon, Facebook, Discord, native GUIs. Shop will be in the next version, so it's all there. So it doesn't need to be mentioned. So.
No worries. Well, I just thought it would be kind of put it out there. Let's have a look. Have I got any other things I can ask? But nope. Have you flown Beta Flight lately?
No.
You haven't? Okay,
no, a couple of years ago, I tried to configure one of a friend of mine and failed miserably.
No. But
no, seriously, I couldn't.
Maybe too much going on, isn't there? It's not keep it simple.
You need to be freaking rocket scientist to do that. So like, I don't know what's PT1 filter, and well, I know what PT1 filter is, what PT2 filter, where you need to put it, combine it, and then you have. It's complicated. It's great. It's very advanced. You can do whatever you want to do, but some people just want to fly.
How did you get into coding and developing
in general?
I do coding since I was like 13 or 14 years old. In 1996, there was. I'm from Russia. You know, there's computers. It's very abstract thingy, and was not available in 80s. But in 86, there was a post in electronic magazine how to make your own computer. And this is how it started. So they posted in a year, you need to buy components one by one. Then you get PCB, you need to solder it, and you need to program it. And I was like 14 at that time. It's, well, some people just trying to catch girls, but well, probably I just was too nerdy. And this is how I started to program in machine code without any interpreter or anything. I still remember like CD, it's call in assembly, or C9, it's return. So this is how you code machine code straight away. Cool. Huh?
That is mad.
We like that.
What gear do you use?
Sorry?
What gear do you use? Like goggles? Have you left Team Failsafe?
Goggles, I think Dominators 2 and 3, whatever the latest. Somebody was sent me a present. HDO 3 or 2. What's the latest?
Yeah.
I have DJI. I have Sharkbite. Radios I have there. I think Mambo I bought to check the latest what Trappy is doing.
They had to pull the latest update for the Mambo, so they're redoing it.
Yeah, I know. Radio Master Tango 2, Tango 1, old trusty Taranis, still working. Like very old. What else? Drones, everything that's Impulse RC is doing. Sean is very kind, and he sends all carbon stuff he makes to me. Just I don't know.
Fantastic guy.
He's he's a nice guy. I said like, Sean, can I use the shape for this because I like it? He said like, here's the DXF, knock yourself out.
Oh, what a legend!
Yeah, that's
really him and Will look after me so much.
He's helped me a lot to start with OSD. So quite some things was taken from his design, and quite some things changed, of course. But basic was what Sean is doing on his OSD. It's not that actually complicated, but well, I never did it before, so I had to start somewhere.
Yeah. Shady. The KISS Ultra has OSD built in, so.
KISS Ultra, it is OSD. It's one thing.
Yeah. Same chip doing two things.
It's the same chip, yes.
Flying and showing you things. Please, like, how much do I have to pay you to do Ghost Lure?
Sorry?
The Ghost Lure script for KISS.
Is there any support available?
I don't know. I don't think there is. The last time I looked, there wasn't.
They sent me a set with a protocol description, but there is no parameters you can change. It's just only a few packets with a payload of the 6. That's it. That's what I did. Sorry, guys, can't do anymore. Maybe there's update, but they didn't send me anything.
Okay, I'll hassle Tony.
Why would you want to have Lua script? Because only if you have HD. If you are analog on Ultra, actually you can do configuration of all Crossfire connected devices just from OSD.
I'm not running Ultra. Yeah, I don't know. I just like I like the setting it with the going through the Tyrannus.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. I just old like that, I guess. Old habits.
No.
Are there any projects like EdgeTX or Express LRS that you follow and you're interested in?
Yeah, I'm quite interested in Express LRS. Nice project. Quite smart people there. I have set up and I'm testing it actually on daily basis on all releases I do. One guy from Canada just sent me set. He is like also fanatic about Express LRS. I don't really like user friendliness a little bit of the system. Probably they need to grow a little bit and think about people how they use it. Updating is like I don't like it. Should be more nice like TBS does. But in general, it's quite cool.
No
and
worries.
cheap too.
MQZ FPV asks, do you fly the Impulse RC Apex as a frame?
Yep. Apex, Aliens, Reverb, and some other thing I'm not supposed to talk about.
No worries. And Taz FPV asks, is the KISS keychain still available, and is it compatible with the Ultra?
Yes and yes.
Excellent.
I did 2 weeks ago. I did update. Sorry, guys, it took a bit longer than I expected because I was busy with Ultra. It's fully supports Ultra and FATEC, KISS, whatever was before. So it's 2-mode compatible. Only one thing, it's great for DJI people, so they can change everything without analog OSD. Pity for them, but this is the way.
Sounds
Apex
good.
2 leaked. Maybe, who knows? Guys, that is all we've got time for. So you've been listening to the Let's Show Now. Massive shout out to Zero for the dono. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Massive shout out to our Patreons who keep this shit show running. Thank you everyone who tuned in, guys. Thank you so much. We will keep following this project. It's as a KISS fanboy for a very long time. This is super exciting for me, and I love talking to you. And thank you so much for showing me your cat earlier. That has made my day. He is a beautiful boy. Please. I might even send you some dreamies to feed to him if you're familiar with.
He's just alive because of KISS community.
Really?
He has almost died, and he had when he was like 7-8 months old, and he had to go to the university. He was about to die, and the price for saving him was like $6,000. And I was a little bit in problems at that time, and I was about to sell the car for it. And I just dropped a message on Facebook, and I think in one evening we had the amount collected. Really, really great for all the KISS pilots.
That's amazing.
And he's still alive. He's 8 years old and
brilliant.
8.5 kilo.
Nice.
Yeah,
he's brilliant. Big, beautiful boy. Thank you to everyone. All the KISS community. We're great. We're together, keeping stuff simple, easy to use. I've been Bright Until I Fly. Alex has joined us, and my darling wife Tony.
Bonjour.
And thank you. Good night.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Thanks for having me.
It's been a pleasure.
Cheers.